Hello friends, my name is Xavy, aka the Slim Herbivore, and today I want to talk about how to stay motivated to work out at home. Now, as 2020 is coming to a close, thankfully, and we're approaching the new year, yet still in shelter in place, I want to share with you some tips that I've learned over time, both inside and outside of shelter in place, to keep me motivated working out, especially at home. I have gotten into the rhythm of establishing some good workout routines and habits, but it is definitely a practice and I am still refining it today. So it is less of something that you just get right away and more of something that you work on. That's not to say that I've experienced highs and lows of working out at home, but if you follow these 8 steps, then I'm confident that you will be on your way to establishing better workout at home habits. So the first tip I have for you is to have an end goal. I know this year has definitely been tough and working out might be the least of your worries, but it is still possible to achieve certain fitness goals like losing weight or gaining muscle at home. But it's not just enough to say that you want to lose weight or gain muscle. You should use the SMART method, S-M-A-R-T, to create a goal that you can wrap your head around. SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely or time-bound. So for example, instead of saying, I want to lose weight in 2021, you could say, I want to lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks. And just a note here, even if you are in maintenance mode or want to just maintain how you currently look right now, that in itself is a goal. So for example, if we're using a SMART goal like gaining 10 pounds of muscle in 10 weeks, you could plan for how you're going to achieve different milestones along the way. For example, if you build 1 pound of muscle every week leading up to those 10 weeks, then theoretically you should be able to build up to that goal. And it's much more realistic and attainable if you break it out into chunks. So the third tip that I have for you is to get creative. Especially because you're working from home, you might not have access to a lot of gym equipment, especially things like kettlebells, dumbbells, or a treadmill. Now, that's not to say that you can't do exercises with things that are lying around your home. For example, if you need something that is heavy like a weight, then you could fill a backpack with books and do goblet squats with them. Or if you don't have access to a treadmill, then try running outside. Or if you don't have a yoga mat or a workout mat, then you can try using a bath or a beach towel. As long as you're able to get creative, especially if you don't have access to certain things, then it's still definitely possible to do a lot of exercises. So the fourth tip that I have for you is to track your progress. Especially if you are working towards a goal that is longer term or more than 4 weeks, how will you know if you are making progress if you don't record your progress? So this isn't a sponsored ad, but an app that I really like to use is MyFitnessPal, because you are able to, in the app, enter the weight that you are trying to achieve in a certain time period. And what it does is it calculates how much you need to eat, how much you need to lose or burn in order to make that goal weight. So the fifth tip that I have for you is to make your workout routine a habit. If you start working out at 5 p.m. after working or first thing in the morning, then your body will more likely get used to working out at that time and it becomes easier over time. Another way of thinking of how to build habits is by thinking of it as a cycle. In Charles Duhigg's book, The Power of Habit, which is a great book that you can find on Audible or on Amazon, he talks about this cycle of a cue, a routine, and a reward that make up a habit. So you want to start with finding out what your routine is in that cycle. For example, growing up, when I would wake up first thing in the morning, I would make myself breakfast. And then right after making breakfast and eating breakfast, I would feel more awake and energized. And so that feeling of being awake or energized is the reward to the routine of making breakfast. So after you identify your routine and reward, then you want to identify a cue that makes you start that routine automatically. So in this case, waking up first thing in the morning or hearing my alarm clock was the cue for me to make breakfast. So by switching out that routine, by making my bed instead of making breakfast in the morning, then I was able to change my habit. By making my bed, I still got the same reward of feeling awake and energized, just like I did with eating breakfast first thing in the morning. So eventually my brain would associate hearing my alarm clock with making my bed first thing rather than making breakfast. And that's how I changed that habit. You can use that sort of framework for any sort of habit as long as you're able to identify the cue, routine, and reward. So the sixth tip that I have for you is to have someone keep you accountable. You can do this by working out with your roommate or someone that you live with to work out at home around the same time. Or you can try taking a virtual class. There are so many instructors on YouTube and Instagram that are creating at-home workout content that you can sign up for, pay for, and book on your calendar. And when you have something that is scheduled and something that you've paid for, you definitely will be more likely to show up instead of skipping it. So the seventh tip that I have for you is to make working out at home enjoyable. If you switch up your workout routine, especially at home, then it's less likely to become stale over time. And sometimes you don't have to think about working out as strictly working out with weights or doing push-ups or sit-ups. Remember that any sort of physical activity like biking outside, running, or doing gardening work or doing housework also counts as exercise. So continue to switch it up and change your perspective on what working out and activity really is. So the eighth and final tip that I have for you is to not burn out too quickly. You have to remember that rest and recovery are extremely important and just as important as working out regularly. Do things that not only recharge you, but recharge your motivation when you're at home. So if that's activities like reading, writing, taking walks instead of running, playing video games, anything that keeps your mind off of the fact that you have to work out as a chore will make things much more bearable. And so those are my 8 tips for you on how to stay motivated to work out at home. Again, there's a lot of content out there, and as long as you stay creative, have a goal, develop milestones, as well as create consistency and create habits out of it, then you're more likely to stay motivated. And if you're still looking for fitness motivation or ways that you can work out, check out my Instagram account, as I'll be posting more fitness tips as well as vegan recipes and other diet tips on that page. And finally, if you're wondering how I track if I've worked out for the day or done certain habits for the day, then check out my bullet journaling video where I talk about my own minimal method of bullet journaling. So let me know in the comments how you are staying motivated to work out at home, and I will see you in the next video. So thanks for watching.